So I've come to Stourbridge this afternoon to Greyhound Trust Hall Green. I'm going to do some welfare work. We'll be clipping some claws for the kennel dogs that are still waiting to find their homes. Tracy.
Hi, I just wanted to ask you a few questions if that's
Yes,
all right.
of course.
So, from nail clipping point of view, how do you know when to clip the nails?
I would normally clip their nails when they reach the point where the tips of the nails are touching the ground, because then the nail is pressing into the ground when the dog walks. So if you can hear them clicking on the pavement, they probably need to have the nails trimmed.
And how long sort of does that, that measurement take really with regards to clipping?
It depends on where you walk the dog. If you walk them on grass a lot, the nails aren't going to wear down very much. If you walk them on the pavements, the nail will wear itself down on the pavement. So sometimes it's about 6 weeks, maybe a little bit longer. Some dogs have very upright feet and their nails wear down quickly. Other dogs have very flat feet and then the nail may never wear down and they will need doing more often.
So it's actually the shape of the nail as well,
Yes.
and the way that they place the paw on the floor,
Yes.
as to what sort of duration you need to cut the nails with.
Definitely. And that combined with where you walk them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. So this is Myra. She's come to have her nails clipped this morning. Let's have a look at her feet. You can see the nails are quite long and very dark. And when she puts that foot down on the floor, you can see they're going to be pressing into the ground, so we know they need cutting now. Being so dark, it's quite hard to tell how much to cut off, so it is always wise to have a look around the dog and see if you can find a paw where you can see the quick. So if you look at these claws on the back, you can see the pearl area on this claw here. That's the quick inside the nail, and we don't want to cut so far up as to make that bleed. We can just take the points off. Up, look at your two claws. Oh, that's lovely. Good girl. That's great.
Jill, a couple of more questions
Yes.
for you. Obviously, when you're dealing with a dog's paws, there's likely to be some concern from the dog, obviously. Is it advisable for the dog to wear a muzzle just in case?
I prefer not to, not because it matters if the dog wears a muzzle, but I don't want the dog to be so upset by having their claws clipped that they need to wear the muzzle.
Okay.
So if the dog was bothered to that extent, I'm not going to carry on.
Right.
If they're a little bit nervous about the procedure, then I usually ask the handler to interact with the dog, to give them cuddles and not let them see what I'm doing, because touching makes it worse.
And also, obviously, you don't want the dog to represent the muzzle with
Something
concern.
unpleasant. Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we don't want to make it so unpleasant for the dog this time, because then it will be much worse next time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the other thing we can do is give them lots of treats.
Yeah.
If we've got their favourite food, we can distract them with that whilst I
So
sneak round and
yeah.
do it very quickly.
Fair for that. A bit like us going to the dentist.
That's
then.
right, yes, as quick as possible, make it painless.
Absolutely, get the sweets out.
Yeah.
The other thing is, obviously, people ask where they should get their dog's nails clipped.
Yes.
What's your advice on that?
Okay, you can usually get this done at the vets. Your vet probably does that service, and also at dog groomers, you can get it done there. You might find during the lockdown those services are restricted. If you're close enough to the kennels, then you can come to the kennels and book an appointment for welfare. Even with the current lockdown,
Yeah.
you're allowed to travel for welfare purposes.
Right.
So you can make an appointment at the kennels for me to clip their claws here. Or I do it as part of my business as well if you're not close enough to come
Yeah.
to the
Obviously,
kennels.
under COVID restrictions, you'd work probably with
Yes.
the dog outside
Yes,
if there
I
was
would normally do it
if they
outdoors.
can't get to us
Yes.
or they can't get
Yes.
to the vet.
Yeah, we always work outside and wear masks for clipping.
Do you recommend owners do their own dog clipping, or do you think it is an art?
Yeah, that's a tricky one. I have been clipping my own dog's nails for probably 15 years, and I'm quite comfortable with doing
Yeah, but not many people
Greyhound's
are
nails.
they?
I would say if you're nervous, I wouldn't do it, because the dog will feel that you are nervous, and
Yeah.
that will make them nervous, and the whole thing just
Yeah.
spirals.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
better probably to bring them here
Yeah.
and let me do
So
them for you.
it's kind of bringing them for a welfare check.
Yes.
Obviously, teeth as well can be done, but
Yeah.
but from their point of view, it's got to be a good experience rather
Yes.
than a negative.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
brilliant, Jill. Thank you.
And it also means that the dog doesn't associate the unpleasant experience with you.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
fine. That's brilliant, Jill. Thank
Okay,
you. Yeah,
thank you.
lovely.
Okay,
Cheers.
thanks.